What is NATO? NATO is an extension of American foreign policy objectives. That's all NATO is. NATO doesn't stand for anything related to Europe. It only stands for the United States of America. That's NATO. The United States used NATO as an excuse to deploy missile systems that threatened Russia, and NATO did nothing about it. Where were the Bulgarians when we put the Aegis Ashore system into Romania and Poland? Were the Bulgarians in the street saying, don't do that, because eventually Russia's going to build a missile with a warhead that has Sophia written on it, and we can't stop it. NATO can't protect us, because that's where you are right now. NATO can't protect you at all.
Please speak for Poland and Warsaw, not from Sofia. This is not a joke.
But you're part of NATO, so you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
You chose to be part of the problem. So Russia will make you part of the solution. You're part of NATO. You voted for this to happen. NATO is a consensus-driven organization. Nothing happens in NATO unless all of NATO agrees. So you can't sit there and say Poland and Romania. No, 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 no. You voted for it. You said you wanted this. Now you pay the price. You're responsible.
We voted.
Oh. What are you, Bulgaria and NATO? What do you stand for? Do you stand for human rights? Do you stand for democracy? What do you stand for, and what are you willing to die for? Because NATO is a military alliance. So what is it that Bulgaria is willing to die for? Are you willing to die for Ukraine?
For
How many Bulgarians?
No, for Ukraine too. Yeah, I understand.
So that's my point. What is NATO? NATO is nothing. It's a fantasy. It's an expensive fantasy. But in the end, NATO failed Ukraine. Why is America reaching into Bulgaria and telling you how to run your country? Because you're a prisoner to America, because you've surrendered to America, because you've bought into this vision that America controls the world. You may not feel like you're a prisoner. You may not want to be a prisoner, but you are a prisoner because you have a government that has surrendered to America. That's the problem. But what does that mean to be a European? Are you a Pole? Are you a Brit? Are you Italian? Are you French? What does European mean? What is a European? Because there's no such thing as a European. There's something called a Bulgarian. There's something called an Italian. There's something called a Frenchman or a German or a British. We know what those are, but we don't know what a European is because it doesn't exist. That's why it's a joke. I mean, think about the burden that's going to be put on Bulgaria. You know, you're going to have to rebuild your military to what end? To what? Do you really want to go to war with Russia? Didn't you just see what happened to Ukraine? Because that's your future. You can't beat Russia. NATO can't beat Russia. That Russia has a military that's combat tested, victorious. They know what winning is. When was the last war Bulgaria won? Do you have any officers today that know what military victory is? And this is where Bulgaria has leverage, because you know you are a NATO member.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be a NATO yes man. You could actually use your NATO membership and say, we're going to start saying no. You are a member of the European Union, but you don't have to be a European Union yes man. Because what are the consequences? What are they going to do? Put the Magnitsky Act on you? They already did. They already did. They already sanctioned you. They already proved that you're nothing. You're nothing as a nation. So why doesn't Bulgaria stand up and say, this is who we are? And if it comes to the point where being a member of NATO costs you your sovereignty, maybe you shouldn't be a member of NATO anymore. Maybe you picked the wrong side. Maybe you should be on the other side.